Welcome to my YouTube channel, Dennis the Monk. I am Dennis Vyzhakovsky, and today's topic is destination of fulfilling life. Sometimes we get so lost in the moments. Time begins to pass real quick. We're lost in the moments, but we're not present to the moments. And when we're not present to the moments, our dreams, our aspirations, change can't happen. It happens to us, but we're not making it happen for ourselves. My dear friend, Deborah from Venice, made the recommendation for me to speak about what not to think to accomplish goals. How do you get to that place that you want to be that brings life fulfillment? Well, every time I do any type of program, I feel first the experience and then synthesize it, bring it up here, and then I can translate it as I'm doing now. That translation process is powerful for me, and we need to all find our own translation process, but that's a little sidebar. In this process, the feeling that I had in the experience of a destination and journey is a saying by John Donne, who is a metaphysical poet back from 1624. And he said, quote, "No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main." Now, recently, about a couple of weeks ago, I came across something that's very similar, where we have a society in a world where people are feeling so alone and feeling lonely. I believe statistically 75 to 80% of our society experience loneliness. The key for this experience of the journey and in a self-fulfilling life, it starts with a humble self-reflection. Humble, being honest with self, others, and a higher power, whom I choose to call God. Self-reflective, so I'm willing to say, this is how I feel. This is my experience right now. Remember, feelings, no one can tell you your feelings are wrong. When we begin to investigate how we feel and we start to peel away like the onion, the different elements of in the moment experience, and we start going back in time, we find answers to the challenges we're facing in the now. If we're not having a sense of fulfillment, I believe part of that is, one, we have to go through this journey of self-reflection. We have to develop or experience a sense of community or belonging and being in relationship with others. That's one thing to have a husband, a wife, a close friend, but we need to seek out at least 3 people with whom we can share our feelings and our thoughts. Because when we get it outside of us, those feelings and thoughts, particularly if they're negative, lose their power over us. The idea of no man is an island is even in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, we need each other, because in having and being in relationship, it's important to express how we're feeling, but it's also important to listen to those that we love and we trust, what they're trying to share with us, how they're trying to help us. So I did a little research trying to put more words to this context of this destination of life fulfillment. And I found something really pretty cool in Wikipedia, of all places. I'm going to read a little bit from this. Personal fulfillment is an ongoing journey for a human individual, and it commences when the individual starts to become conscious of oneself and one's surrounding. It then begins with an exploration of what am I capable of? Notice that it's a journey. It's self-reflective. It's now becoming aware of myself and my surroundings. And when I become aware of myself and my surroundings and go deep in myself, I discover what are my capacities. That's why humility, being honest with self, others, and God is so important. That's why it's important also to be very careful of self-deprecation, meaning always putting oneself down or making light of something that maybe is really important. We have to be careful of the negative self-talk and the what comes out of our mouth about ourselves and others. We need to begin to change that. If we want an experience of fulfilling life, it really begins with that experience of coming to know who I am, coming to know who I am in relationship with other people. And then, when you start in that journey, then comes the adventure of exploration. Exploration is taking that self-awareness, the experience of relationship where others are giving their perceptions of your experience to help, it's mutual. And then we understand our capacities, we start to learn them, we start to uncover them, and our capacities are found also in our passions or all the things that we enjoy and we like to do. They're natural, they're given, they're God-given. The exploration is now trying out new things, doing something different, thinking. Sometimes when I get really stressed, I play Cookie Jam. And when I play this game on my phone, it teaches me something all the time. I keep on thinking, why can't I win this game? But I keep on doing the same thing over and over again. And as soon as I change my pattern of behavior, I win. The exploration that we go through is an exploration of finding something new of which we're interested in, then pursuing it, doing something, knowing that initially there's going to be failure. We're not always going to be successful, but success comes in the journey of trying, falling, getting back up again, trying and falling, getting back up again. But we're making this progress moving forward. So the exploration then comes after the exploration. We have these initial failures, disappointments, but we keep on trying, we keep on getting up, and we start to experience success. Did you know that Abraham Lincoln, he ran for office 11 times before he became president? There are so many stories of people where they seemingly failed, but their journey was trial and error to accommodate oneself and understanding what needs to be done while making those changes and while moving forward, and we can become surprised. So now we have this experience of trying, and then we become successful, and we experience joy, and then we get to experience the people that are around us, their their support, their backing, their compliments of what we've done. We need to accept that, and then we come to a place where we become complacent again when we're moving forward, and then we have to go back to that third step of exploration. And it's a process over and over and over again. And as we do, I look at it as either vertical or horizontal, where we keep on taking steps forward and we're becoming successful, meaning that self-reflective, in relationship, healthy relationships, open to objective love, objective truth. Then we become aware of ourselves, aware of the environment, of the world around us. Then we learn about our capacity. Then we start to experiment with what we've learned in our capacity. And then we come into this experience of failure and we succeed. And then we move on and we have to constantly start over again to that third element of exploration. We're all meant to have a fulfilled life. We're all meant what I call salvation on earth, experiencing peace, joy, happiness, and love. much of that has to do with how we approach ourselves and the world around us. It's relative to the compassion that we show for ourselves and the world around us. And we keep on growing. So, my friends, self-reflective sometimes is painful, and that's okay. Find those few people with whom you can share your dreams that will support you and not laugh at you. And then take the risk. I once heard from a recovering gambler, if you don't take a risk, you'll never have a chance. And I'm saying here, if you don't take a risk to move out of that comfort zone and to do something different and to explore and participate in an adventure somehow, you're never going to go anywhere. And you're going to constantly experience that gift of, or that non-gift of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. It doesn't happen. Thank you for joining me on Dennis the Monk. I'm Dennis Vishakovsky, my YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you next Sunday, same time, same mustache, here we go, and same heart that wants to reach out to you and bring you hope, joy, and maybe even excitement in your journey of life. The destination for all of us is meant to be fulfilled.